welcome. I am Nicole Arrington coming to you from Helen, Montana with Big Sky Cards. Today I have a box full of flowers card I was going to make with you guys tonight. Excuse me. So I am going to use the Pretty Perennials bundle set. So I will use the dies that I have here along with the stamp set. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to put most things aside, and I am going to get a half a sheet of cardstock. This is shaded spruce, and I'm going to get my cut and score out, and I am going to score this at 2 inches. 4 inches, 6 inches, and I will have to bring out my little bar because I'm also going to score at 8 inches. Alright, now the side that I scored on means I want to turn my card over and flip it upside down because I want to do the hot dog direction instead of the hamburger direction. And I want to score at 2 3/4. And that gives me the base for my card. I am going to get my scissors out. And I am just going to cut. I could actually. Oh, my light just died. Well, let's see if I can move one of these. Go back to one light. Let's make sure we turn that one off. I hate to have a... See if we can get decent light here. All I get are problems now. See what happens? Alright, let's see. I hate to bring that light down because that just gives you guys glare. How's that? That might work. I gotta tilt that away a little bit. Alright, so on these score marks, I'm going to take my scissors and cut down to the center where I can see the score mark on the other side. And I'm going to do that all the way, only going down halfway with my scissors. Actually, I could have done this with the cutter, but I wasn't thinking. I've always done scissors just because I find it quicker. And when I'm making a lot of them, you want to do the quicker thing. So this little 1/2 inch piece here, I'm just going to cut in at a 45-degree angle because that's my part that I am going to use for gluing, and I don't want anything sticking up, so that should be good. Alright, so now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to go along and just about score every line. There is one I will not score, but we'll get to that on the other side. So we're going to fold all these in, and right here, right now, you could see, you take that little 1/2 inch where we're going to glue, bring it in, and that's going to make our box. Alright. Now, I'm going to turn this upside down, and the side away from my little 1/2 inch mark, I'm not going to crease down. So I also folded this over, so these all go in, this side, when I fold it over, I'm going to fold down and out. So we got kind of two directions going in. Alright, so now I can take all this. I'm going to get out my liquid glue. And you can use, I would not do the heavy duty runner tape, Seal Plus. I would just do the Stampin' Up! Seal, because you want some maneuverability. So I went ahead and glued that, and then I'm going to push down, but I open and close this a couple times, alright, but so that it gets a really nice good shape. And there I have that box. But for that box, I want stuff to be able to sit inside it, so I'm going to get out my cutter again. I got another piece of shaded spruce, and I am going to score it at 1.5, 2.5, 3, 5. Oh, you can't see that. 5, 5.5, and then 7.5. Alright, so the trick to this is basically folding other directions. With those score marks, I'm going to fold the first one in, but the next two I'm going to fold the next direction. Okay, so now that I got two that go in that direction, I'm going to fold the next two the same direction as the first one. And then the last one, I'm going to fold the opposite direction. So as you can see, you get kind of like a little Z-fold going on here. It gives you that little zigzag. Now I'm going to take my liquid glue. And I'm just going to put a little bit. You don't want too much going on. So this is why, really, I am using this fine tip bottle with the Stampin' Up! Tombow glue. And then I'm just going to insert this in. And all I do is I push this down at the bottom and the top, that far edge. And then this, and then that other far edge, I push it down too. And then I just kind of align these middle ones up so that they look like they're square. And all I do is I fold the card this direction and then the other direction. And usually that works like a charm, giving you those zigzags within there and allowing you to go ahead and attach whatever and giving it some 3D dimension when you look at it straight on. Now, I also used, let me grab that, the Flower and Field Designer Series paper, and I got 4 pieces of it, which I'm going to put all around the edges of my box for my flowers. These are cut at 2.5 by 1 3/4. When I tell you guys that, every time I feel like I'm rolling my eyes, having to sit there and rethink. These numbers are like instinct to me, and yet as soon as you get on camera, you can't talk and think at the same time. Multitasking. depending on the look you want for your card, you can use whatever paper you want. It just gives it a nice background. I have it, I need to use it up, so that's what I used. Alright, so there is the base of my card. I can put whatever I want in it to decorate it. And I told you we were going to make a flower box of cards. So I'm going to just set this aside so that we can work on the innards. So I have a piece of basic white cardstock, and now I'm going to pull out my stamps now from Pretty Perennials. Okay, and so I've got Melon Mambo. Let me get my block. I'm gonna stamp a Melon Mambo. I really wanted bright, happy colors, so that's what I went with. Let me put the Melon Mambo away. Clean that off. Next up, I've got pumpkin pie. Alright. And the last one for this stamp, I've got Daffodil Delight. Okay, let's go ahead and clean out our stamps. Up the stamp. Next, I'm going to get out the little flower, the baby flower. I don't need as big of a block. And I'm going to stamp 3 of these in Coastal Cabana. And when I'm all done with my stamping, I will go ahead and run these through the die machine, because all of these items match perfectly with the die set that comes with this. I just love it when they do that. It's very, very kind of them. Alright, and I'm also going to do 3 more of these in Gorgeous Grape. And then I'm going to get out Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to do some leaves. So I'm going to get the little leaf punch here for stamp. And I'll do five of these. Clean that off again. And then I want to get the little baby punch, or little baby leaves for my baby flower. I'll do a number of those. I'll do 5 of them or so. Call it a night. like that sound that the squeegee makes. Well, the chamois. The Stampin' chamois. And then next, I want to do my centers. Who knew? But it just makes that flower look so pretty. To give it just a nice, gorgeous little center. Oh, I'm not done with the basic black. Because my little flowers need they all need centers. All right. So we are done with that, with the exception of I need a sentiment. So I thought I would do a happy birthday because it's a box full of flowers. Who doesn't want a box full of flowers? So let me get out the birthday one here too. I've got a piece of scrap sage spruce. I'm going to set the flowers aside and get out my Stampin' pads. All right. And this one I'm going to emboss in white and then fussy cut. And then I think I have a teeny tiny piece for the birthday. All right, so both of those I've stamped with the Versamark, and now I am going to sprinkle embossing powder on them and get out my heat gun and melt the embossing powder. So even though my container of embossing powder is very empty, it's got so much life left in it. So there's my happy, here's my birthday. So look, I even got to use that little piece I cut off. Normally I throw away, but hey, use what you've got. Okay. Close that up, put that away, put that down, bring out the gun. So I'll bring this up here and you can kind of watch on the screen. You will hopefully be able to see it kind of change in from smooth to, well, blurry to a nice smooth. There, when I go under, it's easier for me to just go up like that. And there you have it. So I went ahead of time and fussy cut out the happy because I knew I was making this, and then I will go ahead and take my little snips and go snip on the birthday and set that aside. The other thing I did is I did stamp and die cut all of those flowers and petals so that we did not have to spend time doing that later. All right, so it's now time to do some decorating. All right, so I am gonna get out my liquid glue and I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on the back end of that flower there. Oops, I went too far back. I want it up one, that middle one. So I've put that on the middle row. And the reason why I did that is I'm going to put my Melon Mambo up higher, but I don't know how high until I've kind of glued those on. And then my So Saffron, I'm going to glue onto the back of the pumpkin pie one and just raise it so it gets a little bit higher. In the Melon Mambo, I'm going to take an approximate 2-inch piece by 1.5 inch of window sheeting and glue that onto my Melon Mambo flower and put that in the back of the card. So I probably want it, say, about that high so that you can see them all. Okay, and usually you start from back to front, but I just didn't know how high I wanted that flower. And I know I wanted to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that, squeeze that down so that my window sheet gets a pretty good, and I just pull that out a little bit, like so, but it just, there, like that. Okay, so that Melon Mambo is just sticking out a bit more, but it gives it more oomph and vibration. And then we're going to just stick some of these in, just alternating between Coastal Cabana and Gorgeous Grape. And I kind of cut out 3 of each, not knowing exactly how many I might need. It's always better to have more than not enough. That was a phrase that went through my house as a kid growing up. Always to have too much. It's better to have too much than not enough. Ooh, and look, I only needed 4 to give it that. So I've got a couple extra that I can do something else with. And then here I've got all my little leaves. So I will give my flowers their foliage. Or some foliage. Now I'm getting glue on my fingers as it is. And give it one more here. Okay. Tuck those behind there. Here's the real question. Can I get that one and on there? Ooh, yeah. Maybe I should have attached my, the leaves should have been attached before we got here, but we're here. This is how I did it. Have to make do with what we do. But yeah, that might be a good tip in the future. Attach your leaves before you attach your flowers. That way nothing blocks out anything. I wonder, should I? Oh, I like that. All right, I'm going to put another one in. I only have one set of leaves though. And I think I'll put that one here. And I only have one more of these, so what I'll do, snip that in half, put that there, take that snipped one, stuff it there, and basically you have your box full of gorgeous little flowers. Okay. And then I need to put my sentiment on, so I'm going to take my Fussy Cut Happy Birthday. Well, my Fussy Cut Happy. And now I want to go that way. I'm going to glue it on, going that way. Oops. I think I'm going to want some glue on the very tips so they don't stick up. And then I'll tuck in birthday right there. Okay. And I guess Bob's your uncle. Oh, one other thing I have. Because obviously that's gorgeous, but because this is such a dark card, and this is where you would write on the card, I went ahead and cut off a piece of basic white cardstock that is 5 3/8 by 1 7/8. And I can attach that to the back of the card. You can put a few little sprigs of flowers down here. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't know how much I'm going to write, and if I run out of room, I don't want those flowers there. So that's why I'm not going to do that, but I think that would be just absolutely gorgeous to put a couple of these little posies back there. And so here you have the beautiful flower pop-up card. And it would just sit. Don't you hate that? I hate that. You can't see it. But that's how it would stand up perfect. And that's what it would look like sitting up for you guys. So yes, if you would like any of the products I demonstrated today, I would be glad to be your demonstrator. You can purchase things through me through the Stampin' Up! Store and typing my name, Nicole Arrington, when it comes down to asking for your demonstrator. If you have any questions, please email me. I'm happy to answer anything. You can write them down here in the comments on this video, or you can email me at bigskycards@nicole@gmail.com. In addition to that, please check out my website, Big Sky Cards, where I will have paper kits, so that I will send you everything you can need to like make this card, for example, or card kits. So the paper kit, you would need to have your own stamps to provide and embossing powder, but I would give you all the paper products required to make this. Whereas you can buy kits where everything's included except for glue and scissors, kind of that generic basic stuff. So if you're looking for any of those items, please visit my website, bigskycards.com. And thank you so much for stamping with me today and watching my video. And have a great day. Bye.